Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to my channel. My name is Mr. Macemaker and this is Paralives Meets the Tarot Early Access. This is our second chapter of this beautiful rotational gameplay I've started recently. I'm sort of recording not back to back, but with little difference between the first and the second ones. Now we have our page in our story, motivation to work. That's interesting. Work pack might be useful. Moon pack, no thank you. Work pack would be you get new work responsibilities. Okay, that's interesting. You get a rank increase at work, and that's also tempting. And you gain a sudden motivation to work, as we previously saw, but this is even a little bit higher. So I don't think she would have the interest to cut corners, but I do have. So yeah, she deserves the rank. She's working quite a lot and she's actually having to deal a lot with a lot of things. So yeah, I don't think she will flirt with Aelita because she's straight, but she totally would try to do so. Please sleep a little bit more, perhaps not that fast. I am not being able to properly use the toilet. Perhaps it was something regarding the tree nearby. I'm kinda addicted to this game. I am not thinking about other thing right now, and I just counted the minutes to come back and play this second part here. I hope that the narrative part is going well for you and the butcher English is being tolerable. Let's say she will wake up. She's not rested at all. The needs cheat and the time cheat have been saving my life here because sometimes the routing is not working properly. 5 o'clock? No, let's have another point here and jump to the treadmill because no, today will be a day to work out with our friends. So yeah, please stop. It happened again. Sometimes when you press to stop the game, it doesn't stop. Yeah, it works weird. We are still on fall 17th. Okay. Oh, we do have a yoga class at the gym. That would be interesting to visit. I'm not sure how to find Lian. Perhaps taking a look here if he's already available. He's at his place, I think, but we could totally visit him because he's our bestie, so he will not be opposed to that. Ginam, great point at work. Totally, darling, you will do so. She has to go to the bathroom first, and of course I would like her to. It's so difficult working so early and having things not so near home. I mean, it's quite realistic, but alas, it doesn't make it nice to me. Let's use the bathroom first and then change our outfit. So yeah, I wanted to visit our pal and have a chat about certain topics that may or may not have to do with the guy we met last time. And I'm being ambiguous on purpose because last time we met a few guys. Here we are at Lian's place. He has all this equipment, so we will work out here just to be near to our workplace too. It would be a delightful thing if you come here, darling. I will use my trusty command. Let's say that they are starting to work out at 5 because she has to go to her job quite early. Where are you going, darling? Does he have? Yeah, he has another interest there. She's being smart and actually using the front door, I think, or I don't know. These homes having two doors are quite difficult to handle, I find. Well, let's say that it's a little bit more late in the day. This guy is not precisely an early bird. He likes partying too hard, and yesterday, Tuesday, wasn't the exception. So they agreed to work out together. She came here. She has a key to the place. So she entered and she came to a war zone. Because the party he had last night was out of control, and well, she perhaps will be interested in doing some weights here. Okay, if she handles to do so. Routine here is not being a friend, darling. Well, let's have a chat and say that we are working at the same time. Well, this is the best I can do with the angle of the camera. I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed here. It's difficult to control the camera bumping on these lots, so have that in mind. Of course, I think that routing will be smoother very soon, but nowadays it's kind of difficult to play on these apartments. I was saying she found the apartment collapsed by the last party he had the night before, so she starts doing her routine, and when he awakes, he had slept like half an hour. He starts working out with her and talking about yesterday's party as he usually does, and specifically about one of the wolf girls. I don't recall her name, but this is one of the friends of that group he was trying to hook up with. So he even jokes about the alcohol being paid by his parents, and well, he doesn't apologize about the state of the apartment because he knows that Samantha is quite a neat freak, but he will not be bothered by that either. She listens to him without holding back the judgment. They are friends since so many years that she tends to do everything that crosses her mind, and they have no hard feelings about that. This is the kind of relationship they have. So she mocks him about his conquest and the exaggerations he makes, but then he comments that his mother called last night and now his wealthy parents are not supporting him anymore and he's on his own. Samantha starts to worry a little. She asks about it several times until he stops joking and admits that his parents finally got fed up and they aren't supporting his lifestyle anymore. So they told him he's old enough to provide for himself and grow up. Let's remember they both are 23. Actually, he's only a month older than her. For those who are interested, he's a Sagittarius. She's, of course, a Lady Capricorn. And for those who are interested on MBTI, he's an ESFJ and she is an ESTJ. So he starts complaining about his attempts to find an actual job and how everything feels like too much effort and too structured and boring for him. So of course Samantha starts getting angry. She points out that he always had everything he wanted and he never needed to work to achieve anything. So he never developed the tolerance to frustration or real responsibility for the consequences of his actions. Lian agrees without really being affected by that. He knows it's true, but yeah, he has nothing to say about it. So she starts suggesting job positions and specific ways to cut expenses in order to help him handle this out of bounds situation. He smiles, has a beautiful smile, as you may see, because he knows this is her strongest ability and one of the ways she shows her love to others, organizing their lives and making them more productive. Though he keeps one of the ideas she threw to him regarding looking for a job position in the gym, perhaps, because he is a gym freak, so he will be quite comfortable in that space. On the other hand, she mentions to something like physical education teacher to the elementary school. This is quite an entry position, so he might be able to achieve that. But I also know for a fact that he is already having a job as a trainer, so yeah, I don't want to break the immersion here. He might have some kind of shift on his career path later in the Let's Play, but for now they have to keep up with the workout session. And I'm not handling well the idea of not having to micromanage each interaction. It's quite new. I will have to work on that. She may compliment him. They are friends after all. I will talk a little bit more, perhaps to the next card, and then have them to do some exercise. They chit chat too slow to me. Okay, now they are able to be friends. That's a good one. Let's train a little bit. She's not able to reach that thingy, but we can first level up here. She has a personality level up. We have to choose between hyper focused, in the zone, gaining 3 learning speed and 2 happy points, and logical mind. Complex thing to decide here. I think that she might be interested on hyper focus because she's not that social either. So he also has this thread mirror here. Can you use it? Let's pretend that they are working out together. Yeah, routing is a marvelous thing at this place, but yeah, they are working out. That's important. I would imagine that the next part of the scene between them would be on her place, but I don't want to change places just for that. So yeah, I will adapt it because moving paras is quite complex nowadays. So let's say that, where is he? Did he leave his own house? I cannot believe it. Yeah, he's at the beach, as he should, because he's such a solar guy. Wink, wink. I don't talk a lot about his own tarot card, but yeah, you have some kind of clue there, I think. What happens if I make them sit here? Will he come back to his own place? Yeah, he's coming back. I'm not getting used to the menu either. It's kind of on your face all the time. It would be nice to have a clear UI. Okay. This bug is interesting. Oh, actually, like 84 years after, I don't want to sound bitter, but the routing was making it so difficult to just get both of them sit on the same couch. In this place, I will continue with the scene I was narrating. Of course, they finished the workout sesh. Don't mind the hour. I had to go back several times in order to not allow them to go to work because they were supposed to be here just talking and working out. So yeah, it was all a mess. So they are grabbing a cup of coffee and talking about things. They start talking about the neighborhood, the neighbors, you know. Of course, he is the one actually talking because he's a little nosy and he knows all about everyone in the neighborhood because he's in good terms, sort of friends with everyone. Sometimes Samantha actually envies him because of that, but then she realizes she prefers to be alone and she lets it go. Then an idea comes to her mind and she casually asks him about Sebastian acting chill, you know, as whatever dude. Lian answers that Sebastian was recently widowed and has been struggling to take care of his son while keeping up with the restaurant, even dealing with some problems involving a conflicted employee, let's say. But the real surprise here comes when Lian refers to Sebastian's late partner as Lucas, this great guy, and let that sink in. By the way, this is actual lore of the game. I'm not inventing it. So she visibly reacts to that. Lian asks about her surprise, even though she tries to hide it. Let's say she's cleaning compulsively here in order to cope with the nervousness of the situation. She's suddenly lacking of composure. And of course, Lian is totally aware that she's acting weird. So he pushes her to talk about it. And she reluctantly says that she thought Sebastian was flirting with her, so she assumed that he was into women. Lian starts laughing, which makes her angry and low-key ashamed, but he quickly explains that Sebastian might be actually bi. He keeps teasing her that bisexuality is actually a real thing here, so not everyone would fit into her perfectly preconceived mental boxes the way she expects. And yeah, he keeps going on a little bit in order to make it light again. The way she rolls her eyes makes him understand that he has to stop. She suddenly changes the topic again and starts talking about job positions, how to make a better curriculum vitae, and how to present himself on the next job interview, all that jazz. And he says, okay, perhaps this is the cue to leave her alone and don't mess with her anymore. But yeah, now she knows he might be bisexual, he might have been flirting with her, and of course, he's into men too. What will she do with that information? Only time can tell. Let's have another card here. I want them to really be friends. He will not be happy with these serious ones. So yeah, and he got bored for that too. She's learning programming skill by talking about it. That's interesting, actually, considering that she's the one who knows about the topic and he is the one just passively listening, not listening really. But yeah, now I will accept the time passing by and just say goodbye when it comes to the moment. She would brag about fulfilling wants with him, like saying that she had this promotion and she's getting a bit well paid for his economic standards. She's high and above. He was being provided by his parents despite the fact that he already finished his bachelor degree. Okay, she managed to level up technology. Yeah, she's quite happy. Perhaps knowing that Sebastian is quite available despite not being totally straight makes her feel suddenly some hope, perhaps? She should have a shower, but yeah, she's not that guilty either. She will not flirt with his friend, she will cheer him up before going to work. Lian is going to his interview or something like that. Let's pretend he's not actually going to work. Let's wait here. If we can actually move. No, she's not being able to use that wave thingy. Let's use this treadmill again. Luckily, the workout session is like half an hour, so we will be right on time to work. I'm mesmerized the speed she's learning things. Now she's so prone to do so. We might be hacking the system here with that. Fitness skill level up! Yay! 26 minutes. Should we stop her? I don't recall the hour she started her sesh. Okie dokie. She has 12 minutes to spare. I mean, she could use his shower, but low-key, knowing he's so not a neat person, she might avoid using his bathroom if possible. So yeah, let's dress her for her job and let's continue with another part of our story here. Okay, she changed her outfit. I didn't know that. So I made this rookie mistake and I didn't realize I wasn't recording like a day in game. All that happened with Julienne at her job. So I will repeat it tomorrow, Thursday, as it was the first time. Sorry for that. She had a rough day, truth has to be told. But she stood at home most of the time. She practiced some code and, well, she ate dinner alone and that was all. Work pack, of course. You get a promotion, okay. You get a rank. I don't know the difference here. Okay, that was a good one, but I strive for the promotion directly. So now we are operations director. That's interesting. And we are suffering here to keep up. Our mood is not good and our technology knowledge is not enough. And we are trying to study quite hard here. I find that this is interesting because the way it seems to work is that actually ranking up it's quite easy, but if you do it too soon, you will be suddenly blocked by your own skills and then you will be having strikes at your job, so you have a higher risk to lose it. So yeah, it's something to take into consideration. Breadwinner reward. Okay, I wasn't expecting that either. I think that we didn't accomplish a single mission here because I was so invested on my own stories that yeah, I quite forgot about it. Sorry about that. This morning, Thursday, it might be a good opportunity to go to the yoga class, but I think that she's starting to resent about her job, so she will skip that and just work more. Will she be able to introduce herself in an introverted manner or to make an exception for close friends? That makes her be friend with other introverts. That's interesting, but I think it's not her style. On the other hand, I wanted her to be quite dependent of Lian in social contexts sometimes. So yeah. New day, new paper. Yoga and the town is holding the weekly treasure hunt. I'm not interested on that with her because she will not dig holes. She would rather work on her things. So for starters, she is going to jump to the treadmill. You know, when she's not able to go to actually do a yoga class, she always tends to have a moment to use a treadmill on her own place. It's weird to me that she washes her hands before flushing the toilet. She will work a little bit on this and then we will roleplay what happened with Julienne and the bug situation, the problem that they were having at work. Her speed learning 3 and 8. Okay, she will have a rough couple of days here because of the lack of technology skill. She lives right in front of her job, so I think that I will reset her in order to go right on time. I'm sorry, I'm too used to teleport Sims on my Sims 4 and I'm not taking it back. She finished her side job right on time and now is at work. So let's repeat the scene. I didn't record. I feel so dumb here. I was talking about that over the next couple of months. As expected, the bug that the team never really solved exploded in several parts of the program, delaying deliveries and forcing everyone to work extra hours to fix all that mess. The one who was actually most involved was Samantha. She made like 3/4 of the effort and the fixes. Julian also participated here, more than others, but nonetheless quite a lot less understand her. He was kind of too anxious and worried sometimes, so he was not being able to fully understand what happened with the code. And actually, Samantha helped him to think clearly and to manage his own part of the job. But because he's so calm and collected and he didn't complain a single time in his job, everyone kept thinking that he was the useful one, the one that was carrying this project and the entire team even. So at the moment of the annual review of performance, people in charge started thinking that Samantha was lacking of patience. And on the other hand, they even described Julianne as the one who provided equilibrium. And that's harsh because Samantha is the justice. She's the one that balances things. So it was a hard thing to hear. But to summarize that, everyone was praising Julian's work. Even the boss said that he had this serene leadership style and he could even handle these volatile women that was working with him. So yeah, misogynistic and not even being able to realize what really happened. So Julian doesn't fully understand the magnitude of the situation. Of course, he is aware that he doesn't deserve all that's happening to him, neither Samantha. He's playing half dumb, but on the other hand, he's too naive to confront, for example, the boss, because he low-key believes that if someone is higher in hierarchy, it's because he knows more than the others and he must be right. So he doesn't brag about all these compliments. He's questioning himself and his own value in the team. This is affecting him at a self-esteem problem. He's kind of having this complex, incompetence complex, let's say, but actually he's not that good at his job nowadays. So yeah, it might not be just a complex. On the other hand, of course, he feels even guilty, but he's doing nothing. Our girl, we love her so much. She keeps herself quiet this time because she knows that anything she could say, it might worsen the image of her being difficult and confrontational. So she's just ruminating the whole situation. So she got paid 620 paralives, and we have here an upgrade. I'm hesitant to take it because of the difficulty she's having to handle here. Okay, this is quite a bonus, but this is tempting me because she might have some problems with her boss, so now she's having to take extra hours without the money, but no, I don't think she deserves it. So yeah, let's rank 6 and wait for him to... Don't dare you to abandon this place, Julianne. You have to talk with her. I don't know what she failed. So yeah, after all that, when she has the chance to speak with Julianne alone, she asks him if he would recognize her work out loud and make amends for the mistake that's happening here. He immediately starts defending himself because he's not able to speak up at all. He says that he didn't choose it and the damage is already done, and he was warning her that it wasn't a good idea to go against the boss and all that jazz, but she insists on the misogyny and the biased interpretations that everyone's having against her. And of course, Julien agrees, but he doesn't change his attitude here. He excuses himself and says something like he's not the one to blame and he is hopeless here because, and I want to say it on his own voice, I'm just a man in a patriarchal system. Let that sink in. It will come back in the future. Then he storms off, leaving her alone, very bitter, and she has to deal with that. And we have to deal with the camera here. So she will come back to her place, have a toast because she's not progressing on her food skill. Now she knows how to do white rice. That makes total sense. I want her to have another meeting today with a friend actually, but for now she has to get something to eat and rest a little bit. I will not be afraid at all to cheat the time if needed in order to have a proper dinner with her friend because the game is behaving. Why are you trying to... I don't know what happened with the dishes, nor the... perhaps she was trying to clean the dishes, but the symbol here was the one to cook. That confused me. Have a nap, darling, and I will come back. Yes, she's the one I need. Sorry, darling, no time for having a nap. Actually, I need you to come here and talk with Pauline because I want her to have dinner with you. You're supposed to be great friends too. Not that great friends as Lian, but alas, great friends either. Let's say that Samantha came for an errand and came across to her friend, and they agreed to have a lovely dinner later that evening. She's serious too, so she would like the serious introduction. Let's become friends. That's interesting. Oh, they got bored. Okay, I wanted to make friends, but it didn't work the way I was expecting. So let's come home, I guess. Slight change on the narrative. They actually decided to come to her place, perhaps to a cup of coffee or something like that, more laid back. She will say she's unemployed, but I don't think so. I will try to make her progress in some kind of job because it's the kind of character I want for her. But now, talking about the important thing here, let's imagine that they are having a cup of coffee. Pauline was actually running an errand after work and she had to take a call of Zoe because she wasn't taking proper care of Adrian, who's the little one. So Samantha is thinking that taking care of the kid is actually the parents' responsibility, not the other sisters, but she doesn't say a word about it. Pauline is actually quite happy to be in a silent environment, a tidy space, and she mentions the difficulties she usually has to keep up with her own house because of all the mess her kids and her husband constantly make. Samantha is being a good friend here. She keeps it light, almost joking about it and trying to not making that serious. They have been friends for a few years now. Even if they don't see each other that often, they appreciate each other quite a lot. Pauline was actually part of the welcome wagon when Samantha moved into this neighborhood. She even baked some crackling bread for her, which of course Samantha couldn't eat because she's a vegetarian, but the gesture was what mattered, at least. And I find kind of hilarious that I think that Pauline is a vegetarian too, so I would not say that she was actually cooking that, but alas, I thought a good chunk of the story before having the actual personalities of our paras, so yeah, I might edit here and there the door of them too. Over the last 3 years, Samantha encouraged Pauline to continue working as she secretly wanted and tried to warn her about the second pregnancy that resulted in Adrian, now 2 years old. She watched her friend struggle quite a bit, both with her husband, too lost in his own job to really pay attention to the family, and also with her older daughter Zoe, with typical but mildly annoying preteen, now properly teen situations. But here during the coffee break they have, Pauline even has to address another call of her daughter that was looking for a textbook she misplaced, and Gerard asking things about how to take care of Adrian without her because of course he's not able to do on his own. But Samantha stays stoic, keeps her mouth shut, and doesn't say a word about those dynamics. They start talking about work because this is the topic that's most comfortable for both of them. Pauline is really happy with her own progress. Samantha asks her specific questions because she wants to know the details about all this time management, and well, she's goal oriented, so she's prone to do these kind of questions. Pauline starts laughing here because nowadays it's almost impossible for her to actually organize her time. She's still managing to accomplish everything, so Samantha is quite proud of her. They are happy with their work lives, but she realizes that Pauline is still looking how tidy and put together is the room. So suddenly Pauline comments on it, on how happy Samantha's life seems to be because everything is so ordered and right on track. She even sounds a little regretful when she talks about her pregnancy, too young to even ask herself what she wanted to do with her life. I reckon Pauline might be like 31 years old perhaps. So yeah, she had Zoe barely being 20, and yeah, she couldn't study a proper career on that moment, and then well, she managed to do so, but on the other hand she had to address lots of things for almost a decade. Suddenly Pauline realizes that that she's shifting the mood of the chat, so quickly thanks Samantha for being the one who made her notice all this and take some action to reverse it in some extent. Of course, Adrian was part of the plan either, but Pauline says that when she sees him being held by Gerard, she forgets about the struggle and realizes she's genuinely happy with her family. So Samantha smiles and agrees that Pauline has built something really important here, a life with a partner, a healthy environment for their two kids, and that's really an accomplishment that she should be proud of. Pauline then starts showing her some pictures of the family, the little one growing up, and for a twist, Samantha is not getting bored or even annoyed by that. That's a new thing for her. She might even feel a pinch of envy here because she realized that she might be losing something in her life. Not talking about motherhood really, but having someone to share her life with. So Pauline perhaps noticed something about that and subtly asked her if she ever thought about becoming a mother, and Samantha laughs and explains that she feels she would never have time for that in her life because she's always prioritizing work mostly. She doesn't know how to be a mom and she can't picture herself raising a kid either, let alone finding a man good enough to live with. So yeah, they take it light and the conversation doesn't go much further because Pauline of course has to leave. Neither of them is really open to talk about what they feel, but they are able to feel that this chat, this coffee they had made both have a glimpse of the life of the other one, the way they could be the things for them if they made different choices, you know? So yeah, I think it's a good thing for both of them. And I'm suddenly quite distracted here. This is always a bad one. 1937 here, let's ask to leave. And Samantha is again on her own. Let's give her some privacy there. She will program a little bit more and go to bed as soon as possible. She's quite tired. It has been a rough year here. Of course, she handled quite a lot on her job and she made some progress there, but as you may notice, things aren't exactly smooth there for her, at least. And well, with all these guys, Karine, even Sebastian, there we go. Julian popping up there. She's not progressing here. Okay, that's a thing we have to handle. Perhaps she will have a nap first and then work on that. Let's take a look on this. Okay, 60% of job performance. No, I don't think so. This might be better. Another job rank. It would spin out of control. I would say this one. But we will have to continue this on other chapters. Thank you so much for being with me on this journey we are beginning. It has been an honor and a privilege to me. Gift me with your like, perhaps a nice comment. Tell me what do you think about her, about the other characters. Which one would you be interested on watch? Because I will be shifting to another household for the next chapter and I hope it will be soon. So stay tuned, subscribe if you're not, and of course if you want, share this video, this channel with a friend. Without further ado, just take care and let's keep playing very soon. Bye bye. Why are you leaving the place?